Whether or not you should reroll is the first question you always ask yourselves when you start a brand new gacha game, which is exactly why you're here. So I'm going to guide you through the process, telling you which units to go for, and also telling you the easiest and fastest way to do it. And I'll be giving you one tip that may or may not remove me from the Hoyoverse Creator Program, hopefully not. If any employee is watching, I'm sorry if this is a bad tip to give. It'll save you a lot of time, but it might put me at risk, but we'll see. Also, I'm doing a $100 giveaway as we're starting a brand new game on the channel, and because we've had crazy channel growth over the past 2 months, this $100 can either be to the Google Play or Apple App Store, or just the amount sent to you directly. All you need to do is drop a comment down below, and make sure you are subscribed as well, that way you won't miss out if you've won. And also a huge congrats to our previous giveaway winner, Jin Solo level 99. Do enjoy your giveaway win. So rerolling in any Hoyoverse game does have its complications, the first being the email registration process. That's where any reroll does begin. You need an account to reroll, so what's the best way to do it? Because as you know, I'm sure many of you have heard of this, that you can't use salted emails to make a Hoyoverse account, and what salted emails are I'll show you in just a moment. So let's hop over to the Hoyoverse registration page. Since there is no guest account option to keep trying to reroll the characters, you do have to make an account. Now obviously if you reroll, you can't just make hundreds and hundreds of emails, that's not possible. But there is a trick you can do, I'm sure many of you already know this. This first trick does not work. So let's say your email is subscribe2zaf@gmail.com. This is one account, and you can only use it once to reroll. If you don't get the units you want, you're basically stuck. You have to make a new email, which is not ideal. If you were to salt it, basically using the same email multiple times for a single registration, you would normally put a plus here, and let's say you put a character like 1 for your first account, 2 for your second, 3, etc. But this does not work for Hoyoverse games. Now let me tell you the method that does work. Hopefully, the Hoyoverse Creator Program won't get mad at me by telling you this, but you can go ahead and put a period. Yes, that works. So this will still be routed to your main email. You do not need to make a new email every single time you do this. So you can put a dot here, dot here, dot here, put as many dots as you want. So if your email is long, you can make a super long email like this, and every single one of these will work. So you have over 100 combinations, I'm sure, giving you the easiest rerolling process. And yes, again, I do want to confirm, this email that I did type in here will be routed to subscribe2zaf@gmail.com. That means this one email can be used for hundreds of rerolls, making it the easiest process to date. And yes, of course, I did test this as of the making of this video. This does work unless they fix it, which I doubt. If they did, I'll update the top pinned comment saying this doesn't work anymore, but this should work on release. So use this method to get the ideal reroll you want. Now I guess I just did mention the ideal reroll. What does that even entail? Well, if you know of Zenless Zone Zero, they do have a pity system, but oh my goodness, it is the lengthiest pity system we have in any gacha game. Well, that might be a stretch, I'm sure there's even worse rerolling systems, but in Zenless Zone Zero, you have a 90 pity timer on the rate up banner, which is quite a lot. Now I know Zenless Zone Zero did add the skip feature to the new story modes, which does make rerolling a bit faster, but honestly speaking, it'll still take a long time. That's why I do recommend salting your emails. That way you can rush through the process, just doing the story, getting the login rewards, which if you didn't know, is honestly quite a lot of rewards. As you see here, the pre-registration does begin, and we have a bunch of master tapes, which is the main summoning tool you use to pull your summons. So we are getting a lot here, but even more in the terms of coupon codes and other awards that are being released. So on top of all these juicy rewards here, we're also getting 100 free summons, which we'll see right here, obtain 100 free pulls and 80 extra boopons, which are used for summoning bang boos. So this is very nice, meaning we have ample chance to reroll. And I do have to say, if you're wondering whether or not you should play, check out these game physics, of course. They are quite appealing, to say the least. Now, so what? We're getting a bunch of free pulls, making the rerolling process easier. And we also have codes as well, which is this code right here, ZZZ free 100, giving us 300 polychromes, which isn't too many summons if I recall correctly. So 300 polychromes is about 2 summons if they didn't change the exchange rate. So not too many summons, but hey, free is free. I'll gladly take it, so make sure you use this code. But you have all these summons in store for you. Who should you summon for? As you see, we have a bunch of S rank agents right here. Which one should you focus on? Now I do want to remind you, there will be 2 main rate-up banners that you can pull for. The first one is Ellen. Her banner does come straight away on July 4th, so she is one of the main units you can reroll for, unless you want to wait all the way until I believe it's July 24th for Zhu Yuan to come in, and honestly speaking, it's not worth the wait. So if you're rerolling, you're either rerolling for Ellen or all the other S agents we have. Now to start things off, even if you reach the pity timer, you only have a 50% chance of pulling Ellen right off the bat on her banner, but if you end up losing that coin flip, your next S rank agent will be Ellen. So basically 50-50 odds on your first S rank, and then guaranteed on your next one if you didn't pull her. But honestly, getting all those summons in will take a very long time. At that point, you should just play the account, so that's why I do recommend rerolling. Get all the login rewards first, and then jump to the rerolling process. Again, that's my recommendation. I do have a tier list for the game. Here it is. So there are a lot of agents you can reroll for. Do check that video out, I'll have a link down below. But if I do skip to the end so we can see the tier list, there we go, this is what we have. And again, I do want to remind you, any tier list you see on this game or any other game will be extremely biased. Let me tell you that much right now. For example, you might be shocked why Ben is here, but Ben is one of the strongest units in the game, not because he deals a ton of damage, just because of all the invincibility frames he does have, basically being unkillable in the game, unless it had changed that, which I doubt. So that's why he's here. But anyways, I digress. I do have Ellen right here at the very top. This is my complete biased opinion, but Ellen is one of the easiest, strongest, and most versatile units you can use, so there's lots of options here. I do think Ellen works with so many different units on any team across all game modes. She just deals a ton of damage, it's AoE. She has that freeze effect, which I do love. That shatter damage is oh so nice. So she does make the game truly easy to play. You could go with someone else like Rena. Rena is honestly very good. I did not like her in the beginning, but once I got accustomed to her, she became one of my favorite agents to use. I wouldn't necessarily go for Vaughn here, just because he's a good support unit, deals damage, has that ice effect, but he doesn't necessarily carry a team. I feel like with Ellen, with Rena, even Nakamura, they all can manage to carry your team very easily, so great options. Kolita is not a hunter I recommend, at least not for your starting hunter. The same does go for Soldier 11. I know some people may not agree with me having her in the B tier, but honestly when I used her, she wasn't my most favorite unit. Again, this is a completely biased tier list, though I think this is representative where she would go. There are just better units you can use, A or S agents regardless of what they are. She's just a bit clunky, her damage is alright, but I don't think someone starting out should play her. Someone like Ellen is just so easy to play, it's intuitive honestly. You just hop on and understand how to play her. She moves so fast, she has that unique dash animation, which just keeps into effect, so you can run across the map as fast as you want, saving you that precious time, and dealing a ton of damage in the process. But yeah, overall, if I had to make one recommendation, it would be Ellen. She's the one unit you should go for, but if you do get an early S agent, I don't want to waste your time just trying to force yourselves to get Ellen. It might take too long. You might as well just play the game. So going for units like Rena, Nekomiya, even Grace could be good, but again, try to get Ellen. She's a good early, mid, late game unit. Maybe not the best damage dealer powerhouse you want, but certainly throughout the game, you will use her. The diversity of her play and the teams you can use her on are just so vital to making an easy gameplay experience. So again, she's my #1 recommendation. I'm curious to see what you think. Do drop it down below in the comments, because in my opinion, if I were rerolling, she's the one unit I would be gunning for. And when it comes to the actual rerolling process, that being beyond the account creation, it's really not that much work. Ideally, what you want to do is get 2 to 3 multi-summons in on the current rate-up banner. So in our case, it will be towards Ellen. She's obviously a fantastic S-rank agent. so you have no problems rolling towards her. But again, during the process, thankfully, you can skip the story, so when you jump in, just skip as much as possible. It will still take a few minutes to do so. You do have to complete a few intro missions before you can jump in and start summoning, so it will take a few minutes per reroll, which is basically the bottleneck. At least for the emails and account creation, you can do that in a second, but when it comes to actually playing the game, getting those missions in, and getting enough summons to do multiple multis, that way you can get the units you want, will take a few minutes. So that's why some people are hesitant to actually reroll in the game, but I think it's worth it, spending a few minutes here or there to save yourselves dozens and dozens of summons. Again, I do want to remind you, it takes 90 summons for a guaranteed S rank agent, and that doesn't even include the main rated banner. You do have to roll a dice. It is basically a 50-50 chance to get them right off the bat, so if you don't get them right away, you basically wasted 90 summons to not get that rate up agent, which would be a huge shame. But at least with all these pre-registration rewards, codes, and other goodies that we do get by just playing the game, it will make the rerolling process fairly quick. You just hop on, get your free summons, skip the story, which won't take too long to do, and then see if you get what you want. And you know, pulling an S rank agent is very low, 0.6%, not very good odds, so you will have to do this a lot until you get that first S rank agent. And I do want to remind everyone who is new to this game, the reason why you're rerolling is because, well, pulling an S rank agent is honestly very low odds. It's currently set at 0.6%. Yes, you heard me right, 0.6% odds. At least we do have that 90 pity timer, so within 90 summons you are getting that S rank agent, but again, that is very poor odds. This is why from the start, you do want to roll towards an S rank agent, because you will be getting so much more value out of your summons. You don't want to use your resources up for absolutely nothing. That's why rerolling is a thing, to use as little resources as possible from the beginning, to get those agents you really want. That way you'll get a solid start, and not have to worry too much about lucking out, because you ended up forcing the game to give you exactly what you wanted from the get-go. So I do hope this video did help you out on the rerolling process, especially with that email tip I did provide. Again, please, anyone at the Hoyo HQ, don't remove me from the program. I hope this was an allowable tip to provide. I know a lot of people don't talk about it, so please don't burn me from this. I'm just trying to help the viewers out. So on that note, be sure to subscribe, since I am putting my neck out on the lines for you. And don't forget to use this code. Free rewards are always nice. They are a bit low, but don't worry. If there's any new codes out there, I will cover them, because I do want to make sure everyone gets those free rewards in. Otherwise, you'll be missing out on all these goodies. I will be covering Zenless Zone 0 a lot on this channel, providing you a bunch of tips that you should probably know. So do subscribe, drop a like as well. And again, I really want to see your opinion, so drop a comment down below. That way I know exactly what you think, and whether or not you do plan on rerolling. I hope you have a great day. This is Zaf signing out.